All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Team Arise's first call of 2017. It's so crazy. This is my fourth year of kind of going through the New Year's resolution season, and every time it just gets better. It's so exciting, and I love seeing all of you coaches in our team page and welcoming them all. I was going to make a slide kind of welcoming them, but obviously the day got away from me. But I do want to welcome all the new faces that we have on the call tonight. And if you're watching the recording of this, know that we're all here to support you guys, whether you're new or you're kind of recommitting to being a coach or recommitting to be a challenger. We're definitely here to help you guys reach your goals first and then to be able to help other people succeed too. Just a couple things before we get started with the call tonight. We have Super Saturday that's coming up this weekend. Super Saturday, if you guys don't know, is our quarterly event. So each quarter we have this event just to get around local Beachbody coaches. So it's not just our team that gets together. Yeah, we do usually go to like Philly or New Jersey together. But you can find a local one near you. I put the link on our team page so you can just find the place. Just put your zip code in. And it's just a great way to connect with other people, other coaches that have the same mindset as you, that, can bring that positivity into your life. Facebook and doing Zoom calls, they're great, but there's nothing better than being, surrounded by like-minded people who kind of get that feeling and, you can kind of understand each other. So definitely get to one, get inspired by some people, and your business and your personal growth will just be that much better. I've not missed a single Super Saturday since I started. So 4 times 4 is 16. So I think I've been to 16 Super Saturdays. Even on the day we were moving, I told my husband, I'm sorry, but you got to move by yourself and I'll catch you later. And I did do that. It took an hour or two out of my day, not a big deal. So definitely try and get to that. If you can't, make sure, you kind of write down a note to be at the April one. And I'll post that probably on Saturday when the April one is going to be. What else? If you guys have any trouble with the access on demand for the new year with everyone, kind of jumping on board, just be a little bit patient. I know you're kind of like you want to get on, you want to see everything, or like you have someone that purchased it and they're not seeing it right away. If it's a brand new person, wait at least 24 to 48 hours. If it's us, so if it's someone that already has the club membership and we're upgrading, it can take up to 5 days. They do a lot of work with this to make sure that they're giving, if we've already paid our quarterly, they do a lot of work on the back end. So that's why it takes 4 to 5 days if we're upgrading. So just be patient. If you guys do have any problems and you're calling Coach Relations and you're getting a little bit of a runaround, just message me. I have contact with the Diamond line. It's simple, quick, painless. So just reach out to me if you have any questions with that. I'm going to give it over to Leah. She's going to introduce our special speaker for tonight. I hope we all have a box of tissues because I think this one is going to be really inspirational. So Leah, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Great. Thanks, everybody, for being on the call tonight. And thanks, Jillian, for coming on. So I told, when I first spoke to Jillian, I messaged her. I told her that we got a little sneak peek of our story at our leadership event. And we were all just like totally mesmerized by your story. So we're very happy to have you on the call. Jillian is a 5-star 2015 elite coach. She also has a 9-to-5 day job. She is pretty successful. She works in a Fortune 10 company, has a husband and 2 dogs, and she has a really awesome story to share with us and some pointers as well. So she's got some goodies because she's really strong in time management. So she's going to mesh both of those together and share some tips and her story with us tonight. So thank you.
All right. Can you guys hear me? Cool. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see my PowerPoint. because I'm really OCD, crazy organized. That's what happens when you work for a Fortune 10 company. You do everything in PowerPoint. So I'm going to talk to you guys about overcoming obstacles. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story. I will tell you that storytelling is not my strength. I have learned since I have now a story to tell that I really didn't have before. But it's sort of like goes along with my time management theme and really how I was able to run my business, because life is going to give us lemons and you have to make a margarita when it comes. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I was when I started. So I was a girl who had been overweight her entire life. I had gone up and down, yo-yoed. I had tried P90X like many, many years before I was a coach. I've been a coach about 2.5 years now. And that had worked sort of for me, but I never really kept it off. I didn't really understand eating. On the left, you can see like my total body transformation. And on the right, you can see that's my 21-day fix extreme with countdown to competition plan, which obviously was like an amazing transformation for me. And I've had obviously a really good 2.5 years with Beachbody. Like Leah said, I work a 9-to-5 job that I like at a very large company. I like what I do. I do both jobs because they fulfill me in different ways. I'm an engineer by day. And so, I like the numbers and kind of the nerdy stuff. And I like this because it fulfills my people heart. And I came into this business not knowing if I could do it, but not thinking that I couldn't do it either, right? I really came in thinking, why not get a discount? I'm a math person. So a discount made sense to me. And I figured I would give it a shot. And I had a really amazing 2015 with my team. Truthfully, this year was amazing too. I expect that we will be a 2016 elite team also. We get the calls this week, so I'll know for sure. But I went into Summit. I went to Summit 2015 with one coach. I went to 2016 with an entire team. About a few days after we got back from Summit, I found out I was chosen for the Core to Force test group, which is like, if you guys know, it's not something you can apply for. It's like someone saw something in you and asked you if you could do it. I was on like a Beachbody high. I thought that like this was just amazing. I was so excited for the test group. And I thought, my team had just rocked it in 2015 and they were killing it in 2016. And Summit was so much fun. And I was super excited. I got back August 1st from Summit, and August 10th, I'll show you guys these pictures. These are hard for me. I had a terrible accident. I was walking my dog across a crosswalk before work on August 10th, and I was hit at full speed by a car. I shattered my pelvis. You can see that crazy thing on the right is like, it was like drilled into my pelvis. I had 4 holes and it was holding my pelvis together. And I had emergency brain surgery to save my life. You can see like my half a shaved head. I now have a really nice weave, so it looks much better now, but I had half a shaved head for a while. I don't remember anything. I had emergency brain surgery to save my life. They said I wouldn't survive. They said I'd have brain damage. They said I'd never walk again. That was, 4.5 months ago now, almost 5 months ago, which is crazy to think that like I'm sitting here, obviously no brain damage. I am walking. I completed my first round of Core to Force mid-November to mid-December. And what I really did was share my entire journey through this terrible accident. I know that like when life gets hard, we don't want to talk about it, but things cannot be a highlight reel. And they've never been a highlight reel for me. Like I'm not, I'm not one of those coaches that like only post pictures with makeup. That's just not who I am. And so when this happened, people weren't surprised that I shared my story. I posted videos of me lifting in the ICU. I was like full up on meds and I had weights in my hands and I was lifting. I was in the hospital a week. I was wheelchair bound for 2 months. And then after I was in the ICU for a week, I went to a rehab hospital for a month. So I spent over a month out of my house. And that could have completely derailed me. I could have said like, forget it. I'm not doing this. But I know that being healthy saved my life 100%. If I hadn't taken care of myself before this accident, I never would have survived. And if I did survive, I never would have walked again. And that's the truth. Your body just can't handle that much trauma if you don't take care of it. And I will tell you, I impressed everyone at rehab. I impressed all of my doctors. They're like, what you've done is amazing. And it's literally because I have this opportunity and the opportunity to be fit and healthy that I was able to recover so fast. And I had to share that with everyone. So whether you're going through a physically tough time or a mentally tough time, mine was both, right? This opportunity can really help you. It can help you recover. It can help you grow. Mentally, I know that I wouldn't have survived a month in rehab without personal development. I never read personal development before I was a coach. I thought it was hokey and weird. But I spent a month living with 80-year-olds. And that's like not an exaggeration. I was the only person under 80 in rehab. Everyone is old. I had no one to talk to. I sent my husband back to work when I went to rehab. I was like, you can't stare at me every day. You have to go to work. So I was alone all day by myself in a single bed. I couldn't walk. At that time, all I could do was pivot in and out of my wheelchair to go to the bathroom, which was like, and I had to call for help to do that. They wouldn't let me do it alone. I had a bed alarm. So this like alarm would sound if I got out of bed by myself. But it's so, so, so important for you guys to be sharing your story and sharing when things get hard, because not only is it going to help you, it's going to help all the people watching you. I cannot tell you how many people have reached out to me and told me how much my story helped them believe that they could do whatever again. A lot of people didn't have like the same kind of injury that I did. My injuries were pretty severe, but even if it was just little stuff, like I didn't think I could work out because, my shoulder hurt. So instead I went for a walk. I will tell you, I have no pain. I have a metal plate in my head. Doesn't bother me. I have no pain in my pelvis. I can jump. I'm on week 3 of Fix Extreme right now. And that is because mentally and physically, I told myself I could overcome this, and I did not let it get in the way of my business. I will tell you, my business wasn't my top priority. My top priority was getting better, but just by sharing my story of getting better, my business all of a sudden stayed consistent and stayed as good or better in months where we see a downturn, right? Like September through December tends to be harder. And it wasn't harder for me because I just continued to share what I was doing and what was helping me. And people thought, well, crap, if this girl is sitting in a hospital bed lifting weights, I'm going to get up and go for a run. And that was really my goal. It was really to help myself share my story and help others. I'm going to share a little bit with you guys about my time management, because when you have really good systems, the way that I do, it will help you when times get rough too. And you feel like I was taking what I call grandma naps. Like I would be like awake and then I just fall asleep for like 4 hours. When you have like a traumatic brain injury, I guess that happens. And so having systems and really like being able to stay focused on what the things I really needed to do was super, super, super important to me. So I'm going to share that with you guys. Okay. So I put probably 10 to 15 hours a week into my business. I put about an hour a day during the week and probably about 5 to 10 hours total on the weekend, where I play like catch up and do all the administrative stuff that I have to do. So every single week, I have a to-do list, and it's pretty much the same. And every single day I have a to-do list, and it's pretty much the same. This is the non-glamorous stuff of coaching, but this is what gets you guys results. This is what gets you results in your business and gets you to get to walk across stage and go to those fun parties and go on those fun trips and do the glamorous things. So I did send this over to Leah, so I'm sure she will get it to you guys. So don't like scramble to take notes or anything. Weekly to-do list. I write out my power hour. I write up my goals weekly and I follow my to-do list. I read and listen to personal development every single day. I didn't know this would be so crucial for me. I knew it was important for my business, but I didn't realize it would be such a lifesaver when I really needed it. And all the doctors were saying, you won't, you won't, you won't. And I was like, I have to keep thinking, I can, I can, I can. I work on me and I lead by example. I would say I probably spend 95% of my time on my business, even as a 5-star, and 5% of time on my team. The best thing I can do for my team is show them how to do things instead of tell them to do things. Have the right mindset and intentions. I want to help as many people as possible without expecting anything in return. And I did that a lot when I was recovering, right? And I'm going to show you guys how I do that in my team calendar. And then the last thing is no excuses and no complaining. This is something that, we see all these top coaches and they're all super different. Some have kids, some are married, some are men, some are women, some, they all have different personalities. But the one thing I always see is that they never make an excuse. If they miss a goal, they're like, yep, I missed that. It was my fault. I'm going to do better next time. They never say, oh, I missed that because XYZ. I will tell you guys, I did not qualify for leadership this year. And I could have said, oh, well, I got hit by a car and I was in a hospital bed. And so I couldn't get my act together. No, I was like, I didn't qualify for leadership. That's on me. I got to step it up next year. So what does my power hour look like? I add 3 to 5 new people to my network every day, or 20 people per week. I keep a list and I start connecting. I build relationships. I share twice a day. I talk to people about the business, Shakeology, the workouts, and I build my relationships. A lot of this is about messaging, which I know people struggle with. So I will tell you probably 90% of my business comes from me reaching out versus people reaching out to me. I invite 2 to 3 people to my challenge group. I follow up with people. I make to-do lists. I post on my team page pretty spastically. If I think of something, I just post it. And I post on my Facebook and Instagram at least twice a day, every day, non-negotiable. I put the business in front of 3 to 5 people, and this is what I do every day, every day, every day, every day. I know this isn't, like I said, I know this isn't glamorous, but having like something to really focus on helped me a ton. It helps me a ton, now that I'm back at work, but it helped me a ton during my accident too. I will tell you, if I did not have this business when I was physically in a wheelchair for 2 months, I would have gone out of my mind. I already was going out of my mind a little bit, but I would have crawled out of my skin. I was homebound. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything. So having something to do was super, super, super important to me. Oh, I don't know why this is showing weird pink in the background. Sorry. So this is my team calendar. This was last February. I just picked a random month. I don't know why it's doing that. But basically, I run every single month the same. If you guys are feeling scattered, do I do a post about coaching? Do I do a post about challenge groups? Do I do a post about a free group? What do I do? I stay really focused because I was feeling super overwhelmed with oh my God, there's so much stuff going on. So I put on blinders and I start a free group the first Monday of every month. And I offer a 7-day Shakeology Jumpstart with it so they can get a sampler pack, 7 days of Shakeology so they can try it. And then I move into, I'm going to call it my paid group. It's not paid, but people that commit to a program and Shakeology so that I can see from my free group who might be interested. I can invite them. And then I move into recruiting the second half of the month. So seeing who's active in my challenge group, who might be interested in being a coach, and going from there. So I can stay really, really, really focused. And then there's little stuff on here. I had a contest to beat me in Success Club points, power hour every day. The sales are on here. Really super, our team call, really super basic stuff is on here. But that's really how I stay organized throughout my month. And for someone that works full time and feels like there's so much going on, it helps me stay focused and not scattered like I'm doing 100 million different things. I also think it helps my audience because I'm posting about that same thing, for a week or 10 days leading up to it. And then I kind of switch focus so people know what's going on. Okay, so I talked a little bit about conversations, and I know that some people do really well with attraction marketing. They don't need to start conversations. That's not me. I'm not a social media guru. I don't just like attract people. So compliment, comment, question is a good way to start a conversation. Compliment them, make a comment, ask a question. You always want to end every statement with a question so they have something to respond to. More personal questions. Use their name. I know this sounds like really basic, but like, hey, hun, hey, babe, hey, whatever. Is someone messaging? Am I supposed to respond to these? How do you get the packs? Hold on. Oh, someone asked about this Shakeology packs. You guys, you can order 7 days of Shakeology from your online office. The person can go on and order it for $35. It's not free. So, but if I'm providing them a 7-day meal plan and they want to do that in addition, it's obviously a lot cheaper than a month and allows them to try every flavor without having to commit to a month. I don't know who asked that, but anyway. So use their name, hun, babe, sweetie. Doesn't always cut it, right? I feel like it seems impersonal. So how long have you been into? Would you do blank or blank? What's your best advice for? What do you recommend? Here's a really good social media planner. So if you're like, I don't know what the heck to post 2 to 3 times a day, this is the information, some stuff if you have no idea what to post. I find for me, I have the best engagement Sunday through Thursday night. I have a call to action today and I'll put it up after this call because that's just when I see my best engagement. So, hello? You guys hear me? Or what is going on with this?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. All right. My Zoom was being weird. Okay. I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to be bold and give you an assignment. What topics are you interested in? What do you want to know more about? What's going in your life that you want to connect with people over? Where are you going to find these people? And then be bold and start reaching out. I don't have a ton of info because I'm really good at time management. I try not to like over talk, I guess, but be really concise in what I'm giving you. I just think like before all this happened, I will tell you, I know that people say your why should make you cry. You should have this really big why. I didn't have that. I just fell in love with this business because I loved the results that I saw and I was super excited about the results that I saw. And I felt as though I could share that with a lot of people. And like I said, I never doubted I could do this. And therefore I never doubted I couldn't do this. I just sort of went for it. But then when all this happened to me, I realized like I have a greater purpose. I want to share this with people because I know that being fit, really saved me from possibly not being here and definitely having a lot more issues down the road. So I think that is all I have. I'm open to taking questions or if anyone I'm totally an open book. So if you guys have any questions about my accident or anything about my calendar or my time management stuff, I'm more than happy to share that. I think that like one of the biggest mistakes we make is like, we're like, oh my God, I worked for an hour and I didn't do anything. If you're scrolling, you're not working. Like you have to actually like do the work and stay super focused, and you can scroll if you have free time when you're done with that power hour. That's what I tell people. I always tell my team no excuses. And they're like, well, you got hit by a car and you made no excuses. And so clearly you're standing by what you said. So anyway, turn on this light. It's getting dark in here. Okay. Anyone have anything? Was there another question?
That was really great information, Jillian. Thanks for sharing that with us. I know that's probably hard to share that story, but like you said, no excuses. I got hit by a freaking car. There's nothing that can literally stop you, right? I always kind of jump in first with the questions. What were the personal development books that kind of got you through that? I mean, I know people who, not knocking people down, but they break their pinky and, life's over. How would you say you got through those moments?
My favorite book is How Will You Measure Your Life? That's one of my favorites. At the end of this year, with a group of my leaders, I read The 12-Week Year. I recommend that for those of you struggling with like productivity. And we really needed to be productive. I don't know if any of this team pushed for Elite or Premier, but you have to be super productive at the end of the year when everyone cares about eating Halloween candy and sugar cookies at Christmas. They don't care about their health and fitness. So that was really helpful. I just started the Year of Yes, which I feel like is a good theme for this year. And then like all the ones people like, You Are a Badass, The Energy Bus, Entre Leadership is really good. Not really personal development, more leadership based, but I never thought I would like personal development. I thought it was weird and hokey. And I had a lot of other crud go bad this year. And everyone's like, oh my God, 2016 was the worst year ever. And I have to tell you, like, on paper, 2016 was terrible for me. But I learned a ton about myself, and I learned how strong I can be. So if you guys had a bad 2016 and you made it through, that's something to remember, that like you are strong enough to make it through.
Love it. Love it. Did anyone have any questions for Jillian? I know, I think you answered the questions that were in the chat box, but if anyone else wants to unmute themselves, the little microphone is in your left-hand corner. If you're on a cell phone, I kind of forget where it is, but hopefully you can find it. Come on, guys, don't be shy. This is, the first call of the year. You want to get, we have an amazing leader on the call. You don't want this chance to go by without asking her some good stuff.
I have a question.
Sure.
Thank you, Jillian, for sharing everything with us. You said, I know you really emphasized your every day for Power Hour and posting. So do you ever take like an offline time? Like I find that sometimes with my time management, I'm like, go, 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 go. And then I get myself burnt out and take a whole weekend offline. So
I do, but they're planned.
Okay.
So I took the week of the Beachbody cruise, the Success Club trip. I planned I was going to be off, and I was the only person on that cruise boat not on their phone. I literally locked my phone in the safe and carried around like a Canon camera, and everyone's like, what is that? I'm like, it's a camera. Because I didn't want my phone. So, and then my husband and I took a vacation a few weeks ago that we both really needed. Once I was like healed, and I also turned off my phone for that. But they're like planned. They're not just like, oh, forget it, I can't do it this weekend. So, and I tell people I'm going offline, I'm recharging, and I think people really respect that.
Okay, so it's not like a monthly thing, or it's like you say it's like big time thing. So it's really
it was twice, 2 weeks a year I took.
Wow,
which is like I feel like average vacation for someone. And I'm not always like gung ho. Like having my challenge group start the second week of the month allows me to hit Success Club super early. Like it's a third. I'm at like 13 or something like that. So I kind of like get that out of the way, and then I can really focus on like converting challengers to coaches and really like putting a lot into my challenge groups and helping my coaches with what they need, without having to like worry about like Success Club points. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you're managing your time so that certain weeks you're able to focus more.
In the beginning, I felt super scattered, and I was like, and my coach was new, so I don't like, she didn't know everything either, right? And so I had to, which is, and even if what she does now is not what I do, and that's good, like I'm not her. So you got to find like your own groove. Some of what I do is going to work for you, and some of it you're going to be like, this is crazy. This girl's like too OCD crazy. This isn't working for me.
Thank you.
Rose.
I have a question as well, Jill.
Sure.
My husband, we both work in like a school district, so a lot of people are asking about pricing and like, where do they go to look for things? What's the best deal for them? Do they have to become a coach? Basically every question under the sun. And like, my husband and I are both like, what the hell? Like, what do we say to these people? Do you want to give them the best answer? And we don't want to give them the wrong, wrong money, especially after the holidays.
What do you, is
Or
that?
exactly where to look,
I don't send anyone to my general website. I don't know what your leaders would say about this, but I talk to someone and I say, hey, I say, what are your goals? That's my first question. And then what do you like for workouts? Do you like cardio? Do you like dance? Do you like Pilates? Do you like yoga? Do you like weightlifting? Do you like a combo? What do you like? And then, I will tell you that before the All Access Challenge Pack came out, I would say 90% of everything that I sold was 21-day fix. If someone's starting out, I just feel like, and I never sell anything without the containers, because if someone wants to lose weight, you have to have an eating plan. So I always have, I get to know people, I spend time with them. And then once they're ready to purchase, I will send them the link to that specific thing. I never send them beachbody.com/Jillian Kaplan, because then they're like, holy crap, what is all this stuff? And I'll tell you, I'm probably the worst salesperson ever. People will come to me and they'll be like, well, I saw you post about a pre-workout. You never told me there was a pre-workout. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I don't add on things. I sell challenge packs. That's what I do. If in the future, you want to talk to me about pre-workouts or boosts or whatever, that's great. But I don't try to add on. I had someone, this is one of my favorite stories. I had someone want to buy a 3-day refresh, not the challenge pack, just the refresh. And I had marketed it on the post as just the refresh alone. And so I didn't push the challenge pack. And so I sold it. I sent her the link for the refresh, and she's like, hey, Jillian, I was just clicking around your site, and did you know that I can get the refresh alone for $72, or I can get it with Shakeology and 21-day fix for $180? And I was like, yeah, I knew that. And she was like, why didn't you tell me that? And I was like, oh, I was trying not to be salesy, and she thought I was holding it
Yeah, pulling it out of it. Okay.
But I'm not salesy at all, because I'm just not a good.
I'm not either, so
person.
that's why.
So yeah, so just you'll see much less salesy if you're just like, okay, what are your goals? How can I help you? Don't make it about you, just make it about them.
Okay.
And then once they're ready, you can send them a specific link.
Okay. Perfect.
That makes sense? Does that answer what you were asking?
No, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. I didn't want to give them the wrong information.
Yeah, I mean, don't word vomit either. Just like I said, make it more about them so that you can answer their questions, but I wouldn't be like, oh, we have 21-day fix and Pilates and Pyo and Insanity Max 30, and they'll be like, what?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Head will be spinning.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have a question.
Sure.
I know you said you have a system you kind of follow when you are doing your posting, and you post this on certain days, and then a system you follow for the months and what you do when. Can you go over again, you do a free group this week, and then you do your challenge group, and then a coach thing. Can you go over that one more time?
Yeah. So the first Monday of every month, I do a free group, and I have an ongoing free group. And the first Monday of every month, I do a challenge in there. Sometimes it's a 5-day clean eating plan. Sometimes I did a happiness project one where we didn't read the book, but I used some stuff from it. I've done walk and water challenges, really simple stuff. We started ours, is it Tuesday? I don't even know what date it is. We started ours yesterday, a crock pot challenge, a 7-day clean eating crock pot, and people are loving it.
And you keep those usually short, right? 7 days.
Yeah, but it's in the same group, so I don't have to open a group every time.
Uh-huh.
I just add new people, and that way my previous people can see me still adding value to them.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then I have this group of people that want to join my free group that has something to do with health, fitness, or personal development. and I can start to talk to them about maybe committing to a longer program or Shakeology or something like that. It sort of gives me a good base of people to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third or fourth week, depending on how the calendar runs, I'll do an intro to coaching group. And I'll invite people that are active in my challenge group that joined the previous week or two to say, hey, like, I see that you're active in the challenge group. How are you liking Shakeology? How are you liking your workouts? Do you think you'd be interested in learning about what I do as a coach? And that's also free. I just think that adding value is really, I know that some people don't like to do free. I just think that I'm also not a good salesperson, like I said, but it makes me seem like, you know, I am a genuine person, and I don't want it to come off that I'm not.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
So that's it. Yeah, it's very unexciting. But I never run groups alone, guys. I don't run any of my groups alone. Make sure you get a buddy, someone.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure.
So how do you keep track of all the people that you're talking to? Like, my Facebook message has like 8,000 messages and I want to erase them, but I just don't know how else to like keep track of everybody that I'm talking to or who I have talked to in the past.
I use Streak, Streak. It's a Gmail add-on. And it's like a customer relationship management tool. I used to use, what was the one with the monkey tool? It was like a newsletter tool where you could organize people's emails, and it was fine, but I didn't like having to log into another system. Having Streak being like, it's similar to like Google Drive, not like, it's not the same concept. It's a CRM tool, but it's like an add-on. So if you're in your Gmail, you're also in Streak. So I don't have to log into like another system. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah,
So
definitely.
and like Facebook could disappear tomorrow, guys. Like something could blow up and Facebook could disappear tomorrow. But at least if I have everyone's emails, I'm not going to lose track of them. I send out like 1 or 2 fit tips a month, and then I send a monthly newsletter so that people know like what's on sale. And
Well, that's a good idea.
yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
You can also have everyone do free accounts and just use the back office to send emails with. You don't need like Streak, but it's free, and it's, if you have a Gmail account, it's just an add-on. It costs no money. I love it. I tried a lot of different things. I can't remember what the heck that newsletter thing is now. I thought it was like something monkey, but it's not.
I know what you're talking about. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
I know it's going to bother me.
Oh, MailChimp.
MailChimp, thank you,
Right.
monkey.
Thanks, Rachel.
I also heard that if they find out you're part of an MLM, which I don't know how they find that out, that they don't like that. Like in their P&P, it says you can't be part of an MLM and use MailChimp. Whether they'd actually shut you down or not, I don't know. But I didn't want to lose all my emails, so.
I think everything that you shared tonight just is basic and simple. You didn't overcomplicate anything, but you just did it over and over and over, regardless of anything that happened. That's what I took out of this, is that it doesn't have to be, like you said, like shiny, fancy. Like, it is just the mundane things of just simple, like reading personal development and talking to people. That's going to grow your business, regardless of all the flashy things that are kind of out there that we could be doing. So
yeah, and I do math, guys. Like I said, I'm an engineer. So if you ask me to do a flyer, it's going to look like a 3-year-old did it. So I stopped doing flyers. And if you ever need something done where you're like, oh my God, and you don't have a lot of money, I use Fiverr, Fiverr. And I'm also a terrible writer. So what I do, but I'm okay on video. So I'll have my videos transcribed, and that'll be my blog post. That's called And I found a guy that'll transcribe 20 minutes of video for $5. So literally I get 3 to 4 YouTube videos transcribed for $5. Let me tell you how worth it that is to not have to like try to write those blog posts. So if you're not good at something, don't concentrate on that. Don't be like someone asked me to do a flyer the other day and I was like, yeah, no, sorry. It's not. And that's okay. Like that's not my strength. It doesn't need to be. I don't do them anymore. And they don't work for me. Honestly, when I post them, no one cares. So why should I bust my butt to do them?
I agree. Work on the things that you're good at, work at your strengths, and then you can find other people that are going to help you with the rest.
Yeah, for sure.
And find a success partner that kind of helps you with those things that you're not good at. And you kind of can balance each other out too, which is helpful. Any last questions for Jillian?
I have one more question. You were talking about your posting and you weren't good with like flyers, banners, or whatever. And then you mentioned that you went from going to Summit, with one coach one year, and the next year you had a whole team. So did you post more about the coaching opportunity, or was it like reaching out to more people about the business opportunity rather than challenge groups and like challenge packs? Or what do you think helped you build?
It was just timing. Like I started in July 2014. So people that, joined me in 2015, I feel like weren't ready to commit to Summit that July. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So my first 6 months, I had no idea what the heck I was doing. I did actually, I started for the discount. And then if you guys haven't seen it, look up emeraldcostanalysis.com. I read that. And because I'm a math person, I was like, okay, I need to go Emerald tomorrow. And so I signed up my mom and my husband. And from the day I went Emerald to the day I went Diamond was 6 weeks. I just thought about it as going Emerald over and over again. So I've always, someone told me I had to recruit 3 to 5 coaches a month. So I've always that's just always what I've done. I don't think my team was an elite team in 2015, the year I had 1 coach at Summit. So I don't think it was anything different. I just think it was the fact that I had been the coach less than a year when I went to my first Summit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. What was emeraldcost.com?
emeraldcostanalysis.com. I don't know whose site that is, one of the coaches, but I was like, oh, yep, this makes sense.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And my mom is still an avid Shakeology drinker, and my husband used to only drink the Performance line, but ever since my accident, I've been noticing my Shakeology disappearing much faster. Interesting. But anyway, they were my first 2 coaches, and it's been great for both of them.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Jillian, for hopping on this call. Thank you, everyone else, for taking your time out on a Tuesday night in the beginning of the year. I will see you next Tuesday at 8:30. And thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Have a good night.